All right. So maybe you could share with us your understanding of the ones that work with us on the other side, our guides.
Hmm.
Sometimes people call them angels, or but whatever the language, the reality is that we're supported. Maybe you could share a little bit about your experiences with them.
Yeah, for sure. So, um, the our guides, our teachers, um, helpers, all of these, whatever term is being used, um, everybody has them. Again, out in 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 the Cree country there, through the ceremony and the things that I've learned out there, the understanding in that region is that, which I believe is true everywhere, obviously, and that is that when we are when we are conceived, right from that point, when we became a little seed in our mom's belly, we had a and have a helper right away. All of us, we all have one main one, and from my understanding, their job is to help lead and guide us in our life as best that they can, to keep us protected as best that they can. Now, of course, because of our free will as human beings, a lot of time uh, we don't listen to the things that they say, and I think it's different for everybody, like how you interact with these helpers. I think some of the most obvious ones are what a lot of people refer to as their gut feeling. Their gut feeling. Um, some people can hear a voice. Some people have it come in ways of maybe a thought. It's I believe it's different for a lot of people, but again, everybody has one, and so again, their duty is to help lead and guide us in our life to as best that they can. So as we move along in our life, based on some of the things that we're doing, how we're living our life, or whatever it is, whichever way we're advancing in our life, in a good way or otherwise, we will get more. And these are they're not just human beings, they're all different kinds of beings. Animals, what we refer to as the four-legged, winged ones, swimmers, rocks, trees, insects. They could be a number of different things. And all of them have different spiritual attributes to help you in your life, help us in our life. Um, it would be hard to to have an understanding of everything that they do, just because we're living in the physical, they're in the spiritual, and their ability to see different outcomes of our decisions that we make. They can anticipate, so they're always moving ahead. Uh, Obviously, in the present as well, but they're always positioning themselves lead and guide us in everything that we do in this life. So, and that's really, the simplicity of it. And now, when you're in, say, like somebody that's a lodge keeper, meaning like you have been blessed with the ceremony to help the people, maybe in that sense they have more come, but I'm not 100% on that. I shouldn't even have said that because it's kind of speculating. I don't know the true answer to that. But the one thing that I have learned is that as we advance in life, there are more that come, and their job is all really the same, and that is to lead and guide us, keep us protected as best they can, and hopefully that we begin to listen to the things that they have to say. And it's really that simple. I don't know if there's much more to talk on that. And I guess the other question of that in this is is it possible for them to leave? My understanding of that is that they don't ever leave. They can distance themselves from you, but they don't ever leave. And the example of that is something that I was doing. So a few years back, I got pretty twisted in my mind. I won't get into the events that happened that created this, but I got pretty twisted in my mind about the spirituality in the way I was living it. And so in that whole process there, I allowed these dark things to sort of influence my mind, influence my beliefs. So I began to make decisions where I was going to go put my ceremony items away, and I had these thoughts of, I'm done with it. So when I would decide to help myself with all of that, I went to a sweat lodge. In that sweat lodge, there was gifted people in there that can communicate with spirit. My helpers, who I refer to as grandfathers, grandmothers. And in there, I was confessing all of these things that I was doing, the way I was thinking, the way I was acting. And, I was seeking forgiveness for that. And one of the things that I thought about is, did those grandfathers leave me? Because I was quite worried about that, the potential of that happening, because of just the way that I was thinking and feeling and acting. So they came and they doctored me first. Doctoring means that there was a round in the sweat where they sang a song, and the Eagle fans were blessing me, lightly touching me all over my body. And after that was done, the grandfather spoke in there and said that basically they had to distance themselves from me because of the energy that I was holding space with, the vibration that I was allowing myself to sit in. They can't be around it too close. So they didn't really leave me, but they had to distance themselves from me. They were still doing their job in terms of keeping me protected and doing everything that they could to influence me in a way to change my mind about what I was doing. So they honored what their job was. And luckily for me, I listened. And so once I was able to gain their forgiveness and change that, I guess you could say, I was feeling pitiful for myself, feeling sorry for myself during all of that. And so once I was able to see the truth and everything that I was doing, then I was able to once again change my mind, change my vibration, and get myself back on track. Then they were able to join me again. They were able to be by my side, real close. So, so from my perspective on and my experience in that, that's my understanding of that. So certainly we all have these helpers on the other side. They can be human being, they could be winged ones, they could be four-legged, plants, trees, rocks, insects, they could be anything. And yes, if you let yourself go like I did in that time, they will distance themselves, but they will never leave you. Oh.